Hi, this video we are going to talk about React, R-E-A-C-T. This is like Python, where Python uses, we want to extract from library of JavaScript files, which is library of Java and C functions. This is another variation, extracting the library, JavaScript library, for creating user interfaces. When you go to a lot of websites, you can find the interface is very beautiful, pretty when you browse the different pages. Or most of this or some of this are done using React, because the library of function is like thousands. So we have to create like segments, Okay, if there's like 1,000 JavaScript functions, I want to use 100 of those, group them to create only user interfaces. 100 of them to manipulate data, 100 of them to for the web applications, 100 of them to games. So similar kind of grouping. One of this is React. How to use the JavaScript functions for creating pretty beautiful user interfaces. All languages I talk about the latest version. The current latest version for React is React 18. Check it out. And before this, please go into my other videos. HTML, CSS, JavaScript. CSS is cascading style sheets. So you can understand this better. You can either watch this, get some idea, go to those videos, come back to this. Everything will link together beautifully. So these are like used for creating single page apps, applications. What it does is it creates a virtual DOM in memory. What is DOM? Document Object Model. Usually all these languages and web apps, it's trying to use the browser DOM. You know browsers. What is DOM? Document Object Model. It's a specific model for HTML implementation. And check my HTML beginner videos to learn more about what is a DOM. Okay, we're using DOM here. What other things are in this React? Why we use React? Why do we need React? It's for creating reusable UI components. Somebody created a user interface. I can create those or use those, reuse, and add more functionality to that. So I create a new thing, and then I can put it back in the library. So another next person can use it. He can take my component and add some of his things to that. It look pretty and pretty more beautiful. That is the ultimate objective. Check the latest version, React 18. Okay, before using React, what is the main file it needs? It's called node.js. .js means it's a JavaScript file. Please check my introduction to JavaScript file to know what JavaScript is. Library of functions. So node.js is required before we run the React programs. How we run it? It's the same like one of my previous videos I discussed about how to use the Python and other languages, Open the command prompt. In Windows, we use the cmd.exe to invoke the command prompt. Mac OS, you have to open the terminal in Mac operating systems. Then it will display a terminal. You can issue command prompts. This is one example. You want to check what version of React is already installed on your machine, Windows, Linux, or Mac operating systems. So you put this command, npm. If it is not installed, you want to reinstall. You say npm uninstall -g create -react.app. This is a common application used before we run the React commands. It's like a basic version. So you see, after this you can put npx. This is npm. This is npx. You're using that app, create -react-app. I am creating a new app, test React app. Again, I specify the case sensitive is very important in most of the languages. Observe here, capital T EST, capital R EACT, capital APP. So create a React app. Then we want to change, cd is a change directory command in the Windows DOS environment, or even Unix the same. Test React app. I put the name of the app I created, change directory to that one so that I can access files. Then I am saying npm start. What the output you're going to see is you're in the React mode. You can issue all the React commands after this, after you invoke it. So its browser will be open. You'll see some symbols here related to the React app. So this statement npx is to create the React app. First you got to check if it's, you got to first make sure it's there, install it. Next one, you got to create the app, your app. Then you can issue some commands related to that app, like start, execute the test app. Whatever you put the commands in here will be executed. But to execute that, you need the create React app as a basic free version, This is a very brief introduction about React. Let's move on to what other features, It creates a virtual DOM in memory. Please check my other videos, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. CSS is cascading style sheet. CSS is a style for the HTML elements document. Here I am giving an actual example. Program for React. How to use the React in your web applications. Import React from React. So import means after this line is executed by the compiler or interpreter, it will substitute like a ton of statements here internally to execute. Import React DOM from React-DOM/client. These are all syntax to invoke the React app. This command line, this is using a program in a file. Always, any language we talk about functions, methods. In C program, use a main function to start the program. The C compiler will look for the main function, start executing, many functions will be there. And method is used in another language. But here we use function. This is one example I'm giving. Function, this is the name I gave, Super React props. See the curly braces? There should be another curly braces here. That's a block of code. I'm saying return. Return is a function. Any function will return a value. Return 0 means successful execution of the program. Anything other than 0 is an exception, an error. You should have a module or block of code to execute in case there is an error. So every program in C and Java, you need to have an exception handling code, a block of code. If any error comes, what to do? Okay, if this is the error, do this, print error or something like that. That's very important. Okay, let's come back here. Return, this is the header tag. Remember HTML tag? Hi programmer, that's the message. So React DOM dot render. Render means, what's render means? To give, Super React is the name of the, see the name here. It says invoke the document dot get element by ID React. So whatever you put in the HTML file for the React document, React method in this document, it will get executed here. This is internally what it happens, When I say Super React, what is Super React? It's a component. Okay, I say root. What is root? Root is a container. So containers is invoking the components. There will be a lot of components with a lot of containers, and React puts everything together, the JavaScript library, to create a beautiful user interface. That's what's happening. So React is using it creates a virtual DOM in memory. I always talk about memory storage. As a programmer, even at the beginner level, you should be concerned about your program. It should execute faster. So you should conserve limited amount of memory available. C gives a lot of memory, but you got to use only the efficient method. You can write a program, but you can optimize it multiple times, and I write a program like say 10 variables. I go and check each variable to make sure I optimize the variable storage. That's very important for compiling and execution. And when you display, some websites will display like fraction of a second, everything. You go to 10 pages, everything will be loaded fast and beautifully presented. How that happens is they used indexes and web applications and storage, memory storage very efficiently. There is another term I want to use in all this program C, Java. There is one called memory heap. I'm going to put a video about how memory and memory management is done in C, Java, object-oriented languages. So the React creates a virtual DOM even before working with browser DOM temporarily, make it efficient, and then only it acts with the browser DOM to display a beautiful user interface. Okay, let's see it. See here, this is the basic version, create dash, this is small letter, React dash app, tools. What tools it's comprised of? These are some common things available. BABEL, it's called Webpack, ESLINT, and all this. So this is a very brief introduction about the React, which is used probably by the Facebook, social media. We'll discuss more in the next video.